All right. Okay, we're live. That's awesome. I love it.
Whoa.
Welcome, everybody. All right. Okay, we're doing another interview in our creator series. In case you are wondering who I am, my name is Antonio Bryce. I am the author and the creator of the comic book series brand. We are currently on Indiegogo. We have raised over $68,000 thanks to the kindness of good folks such as yourself. And I want to showcase another indie creator that I have found. I saw this book the other day, and I wanted to reach out to this creator and see if I could invite them on my channel. And as you might be able to tell, they have accepted. The book is called Bastion. Ladies and gentlemen, T.E. Marshall, Mr. Travis, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me, Antonio.
You are more than welcome, sir. I really liked your book, and I just wanted to put a little spotlight on it. How many days ago did you launch this book?
That was about 5 days ago, Wednesday night.
Okay, Wednesday night. Okay, so you haven't been live very long, and looks like you're doing a longer campaign. So, first of all, let's get it all. What brings you into this wacky medium that we call comics? Why are you creating a comic?
Also, I come from a video game background.
Give me some information.
In video games for like maybe the past 10 years. And I also went to UCLA Film School, and there I started studying producing and writing. I got really into writing. So I wrote for some games, and I did some writing in school, and I just really wanted to find a medium where I could actually create something and people could see my work. And I found comic books to be a great place for that. So it's basically my passion project for the last year and a half to work on the series. About last January, I hired a team of artists, and we started working on the concepts for the characters. And now we're finally making pages, and it's really fun for me. I basically tell a world, like build a world and tell a story. And I've always been very creative and wanting to bring something to life and create like something that's very original and something I can play with characters.
All right, let me drop, because people are wanting to see the book. The link is also in the description for the video, but I just dropped it in the chat for those of you that are interested in checking out Mr. Marshall's wares. All right, so let's actually figure out, tell me about Bastion. How did this come about? Why did you create this particular book in the subject?
So I was really inspired the way Marvel blends sci-fi and fantasy together. I really wanted to do something where it felt like both. And I've always wanted to create a whole new world that exists in a place where I could make up all the rules and bring a lot of elements from every story I've ever heard. I also study a lot of history, and I find a lot of fun tales in that. So I'm trying to interweave everything together. And I spend a lot of time designing games, so my mind thinks like a machine on how to put all the characters and world together. And then I just started putting pen to paper, figuring out what inspired me, and working with artists to get different visual depictions of characters I'd written, and it all just kind of started forming itself. And I find a lot of joy in just starting with a character, starting with a setting, and kind of building it out, almost like the gardener way of writing. So I kind of just want to plant some seeds with characters and just see where they all go in this world I've created.
Okay, because I'm trying to do a screen share. I'm having some difficulties. Are you able to do screen share on yours? I can put it on you. If you can, I'd like you to pull your campaign up, and because I want people to see it. I think the art looks really good, and
I should be able to. Let me see here.
Because if you can, I can put the camera just on you, and then
all right,
let me know. So I was like, yeah, I tried to pull this thing up.
Let's see. Does this work? Can you see that?
Are you actually screen sharing? Because it's not okay. Like you'd have to look on the
your entire screen. let's see, application.
Should be able to look on my screen. It's on the left-hand side. You'll see like a little box with a green. Yeah.
How about now?
I think you got it. There we go. All right, there we go. So let's actually do your thing there. Perfect. All right, so now we are on Blue Bastion, and you have what? You're at $982. It looks like.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
So let's kind of go through the campaign. Let's look at some of the art that you've got previewed and stuff, and then we'll like talk about your perks and all that kind of stuff, and tell us about your artist, all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. So what you can see here is the issue 1 cover that was created by the whole team. It was first penciled by Rod Looper, who did an Indiegogo campaign called Detective Dead. He's now signed on for
my man Critias. Yes, I happen to know Antonio Malpica quite well. He's been on my channel a few times, and he's a buddy of mine. And he's the writer and creator of Detective Dead. So
yeah, I really like all the art that I've seen from it so far. I'm excited to read it when it's finally ready. Okay. So I got Rod. He was my first hire. And we brought together a team of people he actually knew. So we got an inker named Carlos Eduardo, a colorist named Artisita, and then a letterer named Priscilla Souza. And so I've been working with them since January, and this is a collaboration between all of us right here. It features the main hero's name is Euclid Cipher. And then down here is Elder Avery, who's the queen of Blue Bastion. And this right here is a symbol for the Construct Company. So similar to Constructs, which is a term from Green Lantern, in Blue Bastion, everyone wears gauntlets, almost like the metaphor of cell phones and smartphones. Everyone here uses gauntlets, and through this, they're able to create their own type of spell. And so right here, you can see Euclid is using his light gauntlet. And with the light gauntlet, they can spawn robotic creatures called constructs. And with his left gauntlet, he's spawning a fire sword. And so you can see here, he's actually competing in a chariot race with his construct, whose name's Fiona. And so she can speak, and she's a robot with artificial intelligence that he rides, and also he uses to pull his chariot. And chariots are very important because in Blue Bastion, in the capital city where most of the story takes place, the society is run by these 6 elders and 1 king. And the king is elected by winning a chariot race. And this, basically, a new king is elected every 3 years. And so our hero here, Euclid, really wants to be king. And so he's competing right here in the race. For the campaign, we're funding issue 1 mainly. And one thing we're doing is putting a stamp on the issue to represent what class you are in Blue Bastion, depending on how much you donated. So every copy that's printed physically will come with its own stamp on the same cover, and that stamp's gonna have a rarity value depending. I'm gonna print 10,000 copies, and out of that 10,000, there's only gonna be 1 with that king stamp you see there, but there's gonna be 2,000 with, or 4,000 with this trader stamp, as you can see. And so even if we don't sell out, I'm still going to print in these quantities, and I'll try to sell the book down the line. But I'm essentially printing the book with these different stamps, almost, to resemble rarity, and we'll give them away and sell them along the line. Right here's another image from the comic. This is Euclid about to take a jump. And right here you can see, basically, if you donate $5, we're going to give you a PDF, and if you donate a minimum of $20, you're going to get a physical copy of the book. When you donate at least $20, you're going to be eligible for stretch rewards. If we did get hugely funded, it could go up to the full volume or even toys. If you donate at least $20, you'll get all of that. If you donate just $5, you're just going to get the PDF.
What's your shipping cost like?
So I have $10 in US shipping.
Okay. Do you have international?
And international is $20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
we have a few international people in the chat. That's why I was like, there's like, I know that we have a few international backers that, they're always concerned about the, and it is higher to ship internationally, unfortunately.
yeah,
If I'm being honest, I may not have charged enough. So it's,
yeah, I'm going through this
okay,
fulfillment service, and they provided me all their lists, and the international is a lot higher than domestic shipping costs. Let's see. So you can see here is our
let me look
showcase, right? So one thing about Blue Bastion,
go ahead.
It's a planet. It's made of 90% water, and then there's this one continent. And one distinguishing feature of it is it has 2 moons, you can see right here. And these elders who run the society, their base is this temple right here. This is the Elder Temple. It's made of ice. And it's maintained with ice because they use their gauntlet to do ice, the ice gauntlet, to build the entire structure and maintain it. Here's one of the pages. This is the first exhibition race of the new season of chariot races. So when Blue Bastion issue 1 starts, a new king's elected. And so there's a whole rule behind these gauntlets. Everyone always wears the light gauntlet on their right hand, but the left hand, this one changes every 3 years, and whichever new king comes into power decides what type of gauntlet it's going to be for the next 3 years. So when we come into Blue Bastion, it has been a water gauntlet and ice gauntlet for the last 3 years, and our new king activates fire. So this is the first day of the Age of Flame, and they're racing for the next election, which is in 3 years. So this is just an exhibition here.
Okay, you got one perk I saw down here that is it's like $3,500. Am I?
Yes. So
am I reading that wrong? Can you tell me what's going on with that?
This is all about the rarity. So you don't have to pay for these high tier perks, but you're guaranteed a copy that there's only going to be 21 ever made that are going to have this particular stamp. We're also going to draw you as a character, and it'll be signed, but the high price is everything is calculated mathematically by rarity. So depending on how many are printed is what the price is set. So 4,000 are being printed here, so it's $20. And if you do the math, only having 21 elevates the price up to 3,500. And that's just if you think you see something in the series, or maybe in 20 years it ends up being very popular, then it might be something very special to have a 1 in 20 copy of the book. And that's just also for people who are overly generous, because we're shooting high on trying to fund at least the first issue, possibly the first 7. I have it all written. We're just gonna do whatever it takes to get there, right?
Okay. The chat is letting me know that is we got a lot of comic buyers watching, and just like they're not loving the price. They like your book though. It seems like everybody's like the art looks really cool. So
yeah.
How many actual pages is your?
So the first issue is 40, and then the first volume is going to be 152. I mean, if the price is, you don't have to spend that much money. Most people are buying the trader here, or the academic, the 20 or the 40. I mean, this is probably the best buy right here. We have plenty of copies available. You definitely don't have to spend this much money. It's just if you really want this stamp in this rarity, you can. But it's really just, most people, we recommend you go to either the PDF for $5 or the book for $20. And like I said, the book for $20 is going to come with any of the additional stretch rewards if we're able to get that funding.
Okay, so I want to actually look. All right, so let's get back to chopping it up. You can put it back on me, because I want to actually let's put it on me. And okay, so we're back, and okay, so what sparked the seed for this idea? Why did because this sounds like you kind of blended a lot of different elements in there, and I just this seems like I don't know. It just seemed like it appealed to me when I was looking at it. So, no, I'm always curious about why someone creates something.
So when I was in 5th grade, my dad created a movie theater room in our house, and I spent a lot of time watching almost every movie ever. We would go to Best Buy, we'd buy a bunch of movies, I'd watch them. I just got really into movies, and I went to film school because I wanted to learn how to make film, but I found if I wanted to tell a story on film, it's very difficult to do so. It takes a lot of money. So I really wanted to create my own type of movie, and I thought doing it through a comic book was a really good way to build a world. And it's really based on I've always been a fan of Star Wars, Marvel, Game of Thrones, any of these sci-fi fantasy type worlds. I wanted to kind of make my own, and I have some elements in here that I haven't seen in any other stories, so I'm excited to show them off. But I definitely built a world that has its own political struggles. Each character has their own motivation. It's all motivated by the fact that people have magic at their fingertips with gauntlets, and they can do all these sorts of things. But the way that the gauntlets are actually powered is through a battery that is harvested by slave labor elsewhere where they don't see the actual slave labor. So there's some controversy there, and they basically trade these batteries through a middle continent called the slums, and it's kind of a relationship that they don't want to be in, but they need the resource because the slums controls the resource. So they're trying to create a new battery for themselves, but the people in the slums don't want that to happen because they'll lose their business, right? So there's some struggle there. We also find out there's someone living off the grid who has his own community of followers, and they're not following the rules of the capital, doing their own thing, and they come into play with conflict. But the way I'm framing the story is it's more like Game of Thrones, and everybody is both a little good and a little bad. It's not more superhero-y with arch enemies and superheroes. It's kind of a world where everyone has their reason for doing what they're doing, but can be perceived as bad from one side of the coin, right?
Okay. So you're kind of the Frank Miller approach. No one's all good, no one's all evil.
Exactly.
Okay, and let me see here. In a disguise says so sci-fi and magic, and I believe he just answered that. Obviously, guys, if you have any particular questions for Travis, please put it in the chat, and I will ask. So how many is there a set number of books in this series, or is there something that you are wanting to, like, is there a beginning, middle, and end, or are you just gonna keep writing until they don't want the book anymore, or what are you doing?
I have an arc. It's 7 volumes. So this is just for issue 1, right? So this would be at least 7 to 10 years of writing, I'd imagine, if it did get popular and funded. I plan on trying to do this continuously in my spare time because it's a passion project. So I do have enough of a story to tell for a 7-volume arc.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I think I asked you this before. You may have missed it. How many pages is this first book?
The first book's 40 pages. So it's a
40
double
pages.
issue. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And In a Disguise asks, are you the artist? And you may have came in late. He mentioned that the same artist that is on his book is the artist on Detective Dead. Mm-hmm. So some of you, I know some of you guys backed Antonio Malpica's Detective Dead. This is the same artist on this book that is, that the same artist on Detective Dead is doing Blue Bastion. So yeah, he's not the artist. You are the writer and the creator, I'm assuming.
Correct.
All right. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, we have some Detective Dead backers in the chat. All right. That sounds good. So they at least know that. Yeah, Detective Dead. I'm a backer of Detective Dead, so I'm very much looking forward. The artist on my comic book brand, Kanan White, contributed a variant cover for Detective Dead, and I happen to buy I pretty much buy anything that Kanan does, though. So,
Oh, great.
he's a dear friend of mine, and my partner. So, whatever I see that he's put a little ink on something, I generally will pony up a few dollars and get a copy just because I love his art. He's a brilliant artist and an even better person. So yeah, he did a cover for Detective Dead, and he's done, actually Kane has done several variant covers. He did one for Mike S. Miller's Monster Hunt crossover. I bought that, and there's a book called Iron Skies. I had that creator on, and he did the cover for Iron Skies, and just, man, great guy. So he's a busy man. He's the hardest working man in comics. But yeah, man, your book looks really good. Let me see, because if trying to see what we might do to convince not only people that are watching now, but those that, because we tend to get, the streams tend to build and people will come, later on. You get people watching it tomorrow and the next day or whatever, and they'll see this. And so I would ask, why, if I am someone that is just maybe on the fence about backing your book, why should I back your book? Tell me.
Well, I know this is my first time doing this, so no one knows me right now, but I just would like to ask for the chance for people to read my material, because I do think I have something very special, and I very much like to work with artists, and I want to use this as a tool to give artists a lot of work to do. I've already worked with 10 artists. In addition to the artists that do my comic book, I've had artists do a large number of posters for me. So this is one poster here. I had an artist named Kyle Petchak do. This is an art poster here. I had an artist named Manea Juntura do, right here for Blue Bastion. I really just enjoy producing. It's what I do for a living. I produce video games when I'm not writing comic books. I've enjoyed creating content for a long time. I started working on a Facebook game called Disney's Ghosts of Mistwood back in 2012. I wrote the whole story for that over a year and a half. From there, I started working on the Injustice mobile game. Then I went back to Disney.
I had that. I had the Injustice mobile game.
Then I went back to Disney. I worked on Disney Crossy Road, which is like a little Frogger game. You can actually play as me and get me hit by a car if you want in that game. Through all this, I met a lot of filmmakers. In film school, I met a lot of filmmakers. I took a lot of writing classes. I've been studying for this for a long time. This is my first time to actually put pen to the paper, make a project that people can see. And I just really want people to, take a chance, take a step, make a small donation. I'll give them a PDF. They like what they see. We could keep doing this, but I promise there's going to be things about this story that are going to surprise you. There's a lot of elements that, you've never seen before. And the characters I'm building, I'm building a lot of background behind them. Like, I've already created a map of the world I'm going to have an artist draw out eventually, but from here, I created the 21 districts that are in Capital City right here. I have a document that describes what the architecture is for each of these districts and what typically happens there. And I plan to take the reader through all of them as we go through the 7 volumes, right? There's a lot that's going to develop into this. I'm really going to build something out that comes from my background in games. I think like systematically, like how to build out, a big world, right? I even made my own game back in 2011. I never published it, but it was like through that I created this game where I created 200 levels for it. I'm used to creating things, and I really want the opportunity to just let people see me build this world, right?
Yeah, it really sounds like you put, because that's one thing I when I've talked about my own comic book I've told people, like, I can tell you what the characters ate for breakfast.
Mhm.
They're real characters. It really sounds like you've done a lot of world building here. It's just, man, I was like, that's really exciting to hear, because, like I said, I thought the art looks really, really good. Who's your colorist?
Oh, his name's Articita. So you can find him on Instagram at Articita Studio, which is ARTECIDA_studio.
Okay, yeah, man. Like I said, I really like the way the colors, everything. But like I said, the art on Detective Dead, if you like Detective Dead, same artist here, you'll be getting this. I can tell you from personal experience, that getting people to back these projects, it's all about, you got to hit your social media. You gotta try to get on different YouTube channels and work Facebook, all that. Just, ads if you can afford them. Anything you can do to get the word out, because sometimes you just need. I know from my own personal experience, when I was struggling and no one was, backing my book, people started seeing it and they were like, why is nobody backing this book? And it was the fans that did it. It was the fans that were tweeting and sharing it, like, dude, take a look at this book. Why is nobody backing this book? And that's what got people to see my book. That's what got, someone like Mike S. Miller, the artist on the Injustice books. And, he saw it and he, tweeted it out and invited me on his channel and then caught the attention of Ethan Van Sciver. And, and through there, I met like people like Doug Tenable, the creator of Earthworm Jim, and, John Malin, was on Youngblood, and, a couple of projects over there at Marvel, like Cable, and he's had me on. But all that happened because the fans saw it, and that's what it is. So, if you don't, you got to have something that works for you. So I like I said, I think the art on your book looks really cool. It sounds like you put a lot of thought into the project. I really, really hope that you get funded, because the book looks really good. And
I've been working with Rod and the team, and they started calling me Hawkeye because of how particular I was on the details. Everything, I'm very nitpicky with making sure the art comes to life. So I'm putting a lot of thought and process behind every single page, and the team's just really bringing it to life. Each page is just going to look beautiful as we continue to build it out, right?
All right. So let me see. Okay. So obviously you're the writer and creator. You got the same artist on your book that Detective Dead is. Great colorist, 40 pages. You just need some help. Even if you can't back at this time, it would really, really help if you're watching this and you share the link out. You can, just share it on your social media, put it on your Facebook or your Twitter, and let other people do it. You never know, because that's what happened with Brand. That that person like, hey, I can't afford it, but this book looks cool, and other people like, hey, this book looks really cool, and then it spread. That's what happened with me. Mine was very organic, just from word of mouth and people seeing it. So that's the only way to really, you really gotta hit that social media. I didn't understand that the first, this is my third time crowdfunding. So, and the other two were failures. So I can say, you really, really gotta hit the social media. And I've learned so much over the last few months. So.
Well, your story is inspiring, Antonio. Definitely, if I'm not successful this time, I'm going to keep trying. I believe, just like you, it'll eventually happen. But I'm very passionate about this. I want to see it happen. And I'm basically throwing everything to the wall and seeing what sticks, right? I've been, like today, I just drove to 11 different comic book shops in the area to give them flyers and posters to try to get them to, promote me to their customers. And I also go on Twitter. I start tweeting people, tell them check it out. I'm on Instagram. I started this page called The Comic Fan right here, like 3 months ago. I've just been posting like 3 art pieces a day, pretty much every day for the past 3 months. And I started throwing the Blue Bastion stuff in here so people can start seeing it, right? So just trying to get people to see the art, and hopefully, eventually a fan base will grow, right?
Yeah. I've actually out of all the social media platforms, my Instagram, the Akari Press Instagram, is actually my most popular destination. I've got nearly 12,000 followers on Instagram, and that's just from posting comic book art and interacting with people on there. It's like I'll see Jim Lee post something, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool, post it. And then someone like Gabriel Del Otto, he'll do some art, and I'll be like, oh, that looks cool, post it. And people, after a while, I mean, I've got about like 1,000 different posts, and even when I don't post something for a little while, people will find my page and they'll just start going. I'll notice, I'll get a new follower, and he's gone through my images, and he's like 50 different things I posted and stuff, because I've got so many different things to look at. I think Instagram, if you figure it out, it can be a very valuable tool. You can do live streams on there and all that. I highly encourage. A lot of people are, saying, hey man, Instagram's dead. And I was like, no, the thing is, Instagram is actually the largest social media platform out of all of them. It's bigger than Twitter. It's owned by Facebook. There are actually more active users on Instagram than there are on Facebook, and Facebook owned it, which is why Facebook bought them. Don't sleep on Instagram, because, you see people like Kim Kardashian, they'll go live for like 20 minutes and like 40, 50,000 people will tune in just to hear what she's got to say. There's a lot of power if you're consistent with your posts and, interacting with people that like comment on your pictures and stuff like that. You can really build up a community there. I get DMs from my backers and stuff all the time on Instagram. Love that platform, and very grateful to everyone that follows me on the gram and on Twitter and on my Facebook, and obviously here on YouTube as well. It takes a lot of work, because like a year ago I only had like 15 people subscribe to this channel, and now we've got 2,900, and I'm hopefully this time next year I'll have double that. So I'm just gonna keep working it. So that's what we're doing.
Well, I'll be sure to keep sending people your way, Antonio. I appreciate the opportunity. You found me. I was a surprise.
Yes, I did.
That email.
That was and that's the thing. And I know you were shocked that I emailed you, but I looked at your book and I thought it looked really cool. And I was like, I'm always looking for interesting projects to showcase here, because I don't put everybody on my channel. But if I look at your book and I think it looks cool, hey, I'll give you a shot. I'll let you come on and pitch it, because one thing, my audience is small, but the people buy books here. I can assure you of that. I have a lot of my backers that follow me here on YouTube. And that's nearly $69,000 worth of backers. So there's money to, and I've had other creators come on and people, spend a couple $100 buying their books. So if you catch the right audience, like I said, people will watch this on the playback and everything. The book looks great, and I think you're gonna do well with it. It looks like do you know how far along in the process you are? How have you actually started working on the pages, or are you just waiting to get actual funded before you can really go any further?
So I have the 40 pages written, and then I have 3 completed so far. This is one of them, just like without the letters right here. I got it printed up on this poster paper, but we've been working on them. Rod, my artist, is squeezing them in between Detective Ted pages, so he does Detective Dead. Then when he finishes those, he comes over to Blue Bastion pages. Then he passes them along the line to, the inker, colorist, and our letterer. And we're going to continue pretty much probably a page a week until funding dries out. But for now, we got the 900, and we're going to turn that into 3 to 4 pages over the next couple weeks. And we're going to keep updating the Indiegogo as we get new pages. You'll see it grow. and you're going to see some of the elements come to life here. There's a lot introduced in the first issue, and it's going to build out from there. And I'm just excited to, bring more characters out, because through these pages, I got my two main two heroes. We got Avery, and then we got Euclid right here. As we go more pages, I'm going to start being able to draw my other characters. So I'm really excited about that, because I only have them in my head right now, but pretty soon I'm going to have a whole lot of characters that are going to be built out.
All right. So, yeah, I like that, man. That's, whew, man. And much respect, because trust me, I know this isn't easy to get these projects, and just trying to get someone to actually take a look at it. But yeah, I've enjoyed talking to you. How can people reach out to you outside of the Indiegogo page? What other places can they go and interact with you? And let everybody know how to get in touch, and we'll go ahead and wrap everything up.
Yeah, so I got a Instagram for Blue Bastion right here, Blue Bastion Studios. I got my Instagram for, if you want to see fan art, the comic fan page right here. And then I got the Twitter, the BB Comic Series, at BB Comic Series is my Twitter, and at BB Comic Series is my Facebook also. So I got the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you kind of are inspiring me to maybe start up a YouTube. I don't know what I do yet, but
I would definitely encourage YouTube. YouTube, I've generated over $10,000 worth of sales on YouTube. So I would highly encourage. Yeah, I would highly encourage YouTube reaching out to other creators and having them on, and just doing things. I mean, just building an audience, and you got to be consistent about it. Don't just do a video and then like go a week and don't do anything. It was like, make a couple videos every, it's like a few days. Even if I'm talking about, you can just take a phone and film yourself like, hey guys, I saw this at the comic shop. I thought it looked really cool. Do that kind of thing, and just, really kind of start building an audience. You'll get a subscriber at first, and then you'll get 2, 3, and I feel like my YouTube and my Twitter are kind of married, because I use them, in tandem. And it really helps. It really helps to build up, a following. A lot of my Twitter followers are YouTube subscribers. I need more of my Instagram people to follow my YouTube, because if I had all my Instagram people on my YouTube, it would really, help out. So I've been trying to get that, but like I said, I'm almost at 3,000, trying to get there. I'm sure I'll hit that within the next few months, but it's a mountain to climb. But Travis, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. And your project looks great. I wish you all the success with it. Like I said, just need to get eyes on it. And anything you want to say in closing before I shut it down?
Just thank you, Antonio. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on this show. You're a great guy. It means a lot. The fact that you even found me just gives me a little bit of hope. And I hope we can, have a relationship, and I can keep talking to you going forward. I'd love to support you in any way I can. So I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone who watched today, whether or not you check out my page or not. Just the fact that you gave me a shot here, I'm happy about that. So thank you, everybody.
Well, like I said, I have noticed that people will watch this like later tonight. They'll watch it tomorrow and stuff, and you'll be hearing it's like, oh, I saw you on Antonio's show, and you'll get it. I've seen people telling me, it's like, man, I was on like 3 weeks ago, and someone just told me they saw me and they backed. So the link of the stream will be up in perpetuity. So it will continue to work for you even while you are sleeping. So I wish you the utmost success. Hopefully we can have you back on. I definitely want to do this again. I like to bring on guys like you and Christopher Rue, the creator of Iron Skies. And I definitely think it's important that we build a community of indie comics creators, and try to help each other and try to showcase, because that's the only way to get the word out. But again, your project looks great. I'm really excited to to see it, and I hope you succeed, sir.
Thank you, Antonio. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel, everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.